Hello there! So this is about like the 20th time that I've tried to film this stupid video and things are going wrong. Like my camera died, this camera, I don't know what it's doing. So yeah, we're here again for like the 20th time. So I'm gonna try to get through this again. So I'm here, I'm back, I'm alive. Hello there. I'm going to talk about obviously why I've been absent for so long, and I'm really sorry about that. Also, I'm sorry about the lighting in this room. I'm going to repaint it. I'm going to get there. I have been doing stuff other than sitting in my house all day and doing nothing. Positives, I've been, trying to keep myself busy, been working on the house a little bit, working on my car. If you want to see that, I'll put a little iCard up here that goes to my second channel, and that's where I post all of my car content just because I don't want to bombard my channel with car stuff because I know that's not everyone's forte, so I thought I would just make a separate channel where me and my boyfriend can post our car stuff. So where have I been? What I've been doing? What have I been doing? I've been doing pretty much nothing, and it really sucks because as someone who really relies on routine and relies on waking up and having a plan for the day, this really sucks because before I could wake up and be like, I am going to work today and that's what I'm doing today. Or I'll get up and maybe I don't have a plan for the day, but I want to get out of the house, so I'm like, well, let me go to the mall or let me go out to Target, and I can't do that because I'm stuck in my house all day, and that's just dandy. And so that's been really hard on me to readjust my entire routine because I don't really like change and I don't really like not knowing what's going on. So it's been a very unsure process, and as someone who likes to have a plan and likes to know what's going on, I don't like this. So that's been really stressful. Also, just not working in general has been stressful because obviously I'm not making money, but I'm having to spend money on necessities and food and bills and all this other stuff. So that's been fun, but simple things. Pets are doing great. Cats just walked in here because, I don't know, because they're cats and they want to bother me while I'm trying to do stuff. But the cats are doing good, the dogs are doing good. We have a snake, he's doing good, he's growing really well, he's eating really well, and I'm really happy about it. I'm looking forward to when I can upsize his tank because I really want to do that. I might put him in this room when that time comes because I don't have space. Because right now he's sitting on my computer desk. I don't have space for a 20-gallon tank on my computer desk. It's a 10-gallon right now, and that's as big as my desk can hold. So when he gets bigger and I'm gonna have to move him, he'll probably go in here. But anyway, that's aside from the point. So what have I been doing? Where have I been? What is going on with my life? A lot of things are going on in my life, and most of them have not been great. And I will be honest, it has been a really, really rough time for me in quarantine because it has really forced me to sit down with myself every single day. And I don't like that because I don't like to think, because I think and then I get into this spiral of thinking too much and then I hurt my feelings. So it's not great for me. But what has been good for me is I have been going to therapy, I have been talking with people, I have been using resources that I have available to me in order to help me feel a little bit better. And what that's done for me has helped in some aspects and has just really opened the floodgates to all of this stuff that I didn't even know I was dealing with. And that's something that, as Mental Health Awareness Month kind of comes to an end, that I really want to push for and advocate for is mental health, and the fact that getting help is great, and talking to people who you trust and getting that sort of support either from friends or family or therapist or a religious person is great. Any way that you can better yourself, I think, is a really great thing. So that's what I've been doing. I've been really working hard with my therapist and reading, biblical things to help me kind of get my mind and my headspace in a better place. So I guess I'll get into more detail about me and my situation because that's what that's what I know best. I know me best. So I just turned 22 on the 13th. It is currently the 21st today. So for the past 22 years of my life, I know my body well, and I know things about me pretty well. And I'm pretty good at self-analyzing. I'm pretty good at, thinking about, why am I this way? What contributed me to being this way? And I'm not saying that I'm putting blame on people or my past for the way that I am. And I'm not saying, oh, I act this way because of this, and therefore I don't take responsibility for how I act. I do. I take responsibility for the things that I say and what I do. And I realize that even though you know, something may have contributed to me doing this and feeling this way, I have still acted accordingly, and if someone gets hurt or offended by it, I still have to take responsibility for that action. So there's that. But a lot of things that I've realized, especially through going through therapy, is I have a lot more problems than I thought I did, and that's great. And for me, it's good and bad. It's good because I like to know things, obviously. I like to be in control of things. I like to, you know, feel like I am in the know and that I have things that I can have tangibly to hold on to. So for me, with working through a therapist and talking through all of my problems, I have come to realize that there are a lot of things that I've been holding on to that have affected me in a way that I didn't really understand. And it's been a wild journey, because by knowing those things and by being able to pinpoint a certain thing or being able to have a certain diagnosis, it feels good. It feels like an answer, because to me, then I don't have this whole like, why am I like this? And I still have those moments of why am I like this, but it's easier when you can say, like, for me, I thought, you know, I had anxiety, I had depression, those are tangible things, you know, I know what they are. Most people, especially now, have accepted those as very, you know, common, but very, what's the word I'm looking for? Legitimate things. So that was nice, you know, having that is nice. But then other things started happening, and I was trying to figure out, like, why am I reacting this way to this situation where I feel like I shouldn't be reacting this way? And I won't get into very specifics of that because it involves other people, but for me, if a certain situation happened, my immediate emotional response to that was, I don't want to be here, I'm leaving. That's like my therapist described it as a fight, flight, or freeze. And for me, it is between fight or freeze. I don't fight. I'm not a fighter. I don't know what it is in me. And it's weird because, like, it depends on the situation. Like, I feel like in an actual, like, in a life-threatening situation, I would be like, I don't know, I can't say because I've never been in that situation, but I feel like I would probably be a fleer. But if I had to, I feel like I could stand my ground and, you know, defend who I need to and protect who I need to, because I care about the people around me. But when it comes to not those situations, I'm usually a flee or a freeze. So I either, like, if I'm not in a position where I can get out of the situation that's making me uncomfortable, then I shut down completely. Like, it's a weird, almost like dissociation feeling, and I know that's like kind of a triggering topic right now. I think it's died down a little bit, but it's still, you know, kind of, it's still hot to the touch. So it is, but to me it is something that just feels like my whole body is done. Like, my brain is done, my body is done, my brain no longer functions on a normal level, and I just stop. I stop doing everything. I stop talking, I stop, like, communicating, I stop everything, and I just shut down into this little ball, and I just stare, and I just wait until whatever is happening isn't happening anymore. And so I try to go into my headspace, and I try to, you know, take myself out of the place that I'm in, or take myself out of the situation, because I'm not physically able to leave. In the situations where I am able to leave, then I do, and that is my decision, is I want to get out of this situation. But there are certain times where I feel like I should be here, I need to be here, I need to be with these people and do these things. So when a certain situation happens, that is my emotional response. And I don't like that. And so with that being said, working with my therapist, I've learned, you know, why I react that way, what has caused me, or what in my past has caused my brain to start thinking that way. And we pinpointed a lot of things, and some very specific things, which again I won't get into because it involves other people, but I have pinpointed areas in my life where I realized that, I'm sorry, I'm like spitting everywhere. I hope you can't see that, but I can. But I was able to look back on my past, pinpoint a time in my life where things that were similar to said situation were happening to me, and that was my response in each of those situations then. So now as it presents itself presently, even if it's not with the same person or even if it's not the exact situation, if it's anything that's similar or anything that makes me uncomfortable in that kind of way, that is what my brain goes to, is the past and, you know, how I have dealt with it. So for my brain, it's like, well, we've dealt with it this way for this amount of time, and it's been fine, and it's worked out. So now we're going to deal with it in present time, where it's not working out, and it's not fine, but that's how we've always done it, so that's how we're going to continue to do it. And then I am working on getting my brain and telling my brain to stop it, because it sucks. So that's one thing I've been working on, is that, and realizing that I have a whole lot of other problems besides just anxiety and depression, which is great. Which, again, is great and bad because it's something that I can pinpoint, it's something I can hold on to. To me, it's like, okay, there's a problem, now there's a solution. Whereas I don't know what the problem is, therefore I don't know how to solve it. So it's been good and bad. So I have recently, you know, dipped into the world of other things that I didn't know that I had. So anxiety and depression were the really big ones. I also had my agoraphobia, which is odd because for me, like, my agoraphobia then stemmed very greatly from being embarrassed and being killed. Those are like my two main things. I don't want to go out into public spaces where I don't feel like I'm in control if something bad happens, so therefore I avoid those places because I'm afraid of ultimately dying. And then there's the situation where I don't want to go out into public places with a bunch of people because I don't know them, it makes me uncomfortable, I don't want to do anything embarrassing and end up as a famous TikTok video or whatever, some viral thing. Don't want that to happen, so I avoid those places. So that's where my agoraphobia stemmed from then. Now it's more of, I want to avoid situations that not only make me uncomfortable but make people around me uncomfortable, anything that just has the potential to ruin whatever good is happening in the moment, which is nearly impossible to do because that can happen anywhere. And so while I like to stay at my home, if I go out, I would much rather choose to go out either by myself or with someone very close to me, like my boyfriend, where I feel more comfortable. But even then, at certain points, there are certain places where I would much rather go by myself than with other people. I don't know, it's a whole thing. And so I'm sorry if the angle's a little bit different, if I'm a little more zoomed in, my camera started overheating. It's just been a hot mess trying to film this video. But anyway, so through working with my therapist and working with, you know, people who are close to me, being able to have conversations about myself, which I'm really good at. I'm not good at talking with other people, but I'm good about talking about myself, which is, you know, again, not the greatest thing. But I have learned a lot of things about myself that I just didn't realize. Things that I was holding on to, that was causing emotions that I just kind of ignored. And I just assumed them to be normal, which, you know, in retrospect, it's like, you know, oh, it's a normal reaction to feel this way because of this thing. But it doesn't mean that that's something that I want or something that I enjoy feeling. So for me, it's like, yeah, it's normal, but I don't like it and I want it to change. So I've been working with my therapist to pinpoint things in my life that has caused me to react or feel certain ways currently in the present. We've talked a lot about, you know, PTSD. Hey, stop that. Are you happy with yourself? Hey. Okay. Why did you climb up the bed like that? Come here. Come here. Thank you. So I've been working closely with my therapist, and we have talked about things like PTSD, things like borderline personality disorder, things like, you know, my agoraphobia, and just a lot of things that I've been holding on to that aren't the greatest for me. And so we've been working through those problems, and I have, you know, come to realize that I have more issues than I thought I did, but I am now able to recognize them and able to work harder on rewiring and retraining my brain, which is hard. It is a very hard and difficult thing to do. So one thing that, for me personally, that I would wish that other people knew, especially about mental health, is I'm not lazy. I don't respond to you because I don't want to talk to you. I don't, you know, I don't react the way that I react because I want to. I don't share information with people because I don't want them to know about things that are going on in my life. It's just hard for me to talk about myself, to talk about my problems, and to feel like I am being treated on an equal playing field, and that I'm not being pitied, I'm not given sympathy, I'm not giving, you know, I feel bad for you type of vibe. More of a conversation of like, I hear you, understand you, I take into consideration what you're saying to me and how I should respond to those situations, but I'm not going to treat you like this precious glass figure that I'm afraid to hurt, because I don't like that and I don't want it. So I've been working with that. I did have a scare recently, which was less of a scare for me. Like, I wasn't really bothered by it because I don't care, which is another issue that I have, is I just really don't care about me, which is hard. I care so much about the people around me, and I love them greatly and I love them deeply, but when it comes to things that are happening to me, especially, I don't even know why, especially if it's like medical, I don't care. I don't care. And I should, but I don't. So recently, in the past, how long ago was it? Maybe a month ago? Maybe a month and a half? Somewhere around there? Maybe 2 months? I don't know. In that somewhere time frame. I started having chest pains, and it was only happening at night, which was weird. And it weren't chest pains, it was more like a chest tightness. Because when I would breathe and take a really deep breath, you know, when you take a deep breath, you feel it in your stomach and your diaphragm, and also in your chest. You kind of feel the air, you know, move up when you breathe. Wasn't feeling that. I was feeling it in my stomach, I wasn't feeling it in my chest, so it just felt really difficult to breathe. I felt like I wasn't getting enough air. Like that, I feel fine. Like, I can feel it in my chest and it's all good. But I wasn't then. I was having a lot of chest tightness. I was having a hard time feeling like I was getting enough air. And it was uncomfortable, you know, but I wasn't necessarily, like, I wasn't worried about it. I'm sorry, my cat's playing with something under the bed. But I wasn't worried. I wasn't concerned. It was fine. Everything was fine. And then it happened again. And along with that came some other symptoms. So, like, my arm would start to feel like it was going numb. It felt like, you know, like when your arm's falling asleep and you feel like you have to like shake your arms and get blood flow going. I felt like that. And this was really late at night. It was probably like 3 in the morning, because I go to bed at an ungodly time in the morning and get up at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Yesterday I think I got up at 4. It's been rough. My sleeping schedule is all kinds of messed up, but it was really early in the morning or really late at night, however you want to phrase it. And I was having these problems. I was telling my boyfriend, and he was really concerned because, you know, when you say like I have chest tightness and my arms are getting tingly, to most people it's like you're having a heart attack or you're having a stroke. Like, that's like pretty basic textbook definition, I feel like. I don't know, but it didn't sound good. And I kept telling him, like, it's fine, it'll pass, it'll go away, I'm not worried about it. And he was like, no, I think we need to go to the hospital. And I was like, nah, I don't want to. I was just really adamant about not going because I didn't want to. I was like, I don't want to go. Like, it's late, it's like almost 4 in the morning now, I don't want to go to the hospital. He was like, okay, but if it keeps happening, I don't want to risk this. And I was like, okay, it's fine. And then also, one thing that was happening was as I was trying to fall asleep, because it's hard because it's like I'm really exhausted, I'm really tired, and I want to sleep, but then all of these physical things are happening to me and I can't relax. So I was trying to sleep, and as I would get to that point of like, you know, you're on the cusp of sleep, you're almost there, you can feel, you know, the tiredness coming, and you can feel like you're falling and, you know, falling asleep. And then right at that moment, like, my body would just wake up and be in almost this like panic. And it felt like, at the time, it felt like I stopped breathing, and then my body woke up and was like, we need to breathe now. And so that was happening, which again wasn't great, wasn't fun, but I wasn't super worried about it. But I think that really scared him, and so he made me go to the hospital at like 5 in the morning. I was exhausted, I didn't want to be there, I was so tired. And, you know, they did everything they did. They did some tests, they did a chest x-ray, they ran an EKG. I was fine. Nothing wrong with me. They're like, you know, these are concerning symptoms because you're 20, at that time you were 21 years old, and you're young and you're seemingly healthy. We don't know why this is happening. But they did all the things and they were like, you're fine. You're not dying, so go home, basically, is what the hospital is for. So I did a follow-up appointment with my primary care physician, and he ran some other tests, did a thyroid test, did some blood work. I was fine. Also, at the time, I was having this weird gluten allergy. I don't know what happened. Like, I don't have it now, but for some reason around this time, I developed an allergy to gluten. I don't know why. It just happened. And it was weird because, like, I made a whole video on all my allergies, and I went through to an allergen, and I had all of my allergies tested, and they determined that I was allergic to a bunch of different fruits, like peaches, apples, I think pears, I think strawberries, definitely cherries, tomatoes. Like, I was allergic to a bunch of different things. And I started going through allergy shots. I had a really bad allergic reaction to it. I don't know if I talked about it. I think I did in one of my vlogs, but I had a really bad allergic reaction to one of my shots. I broke out in hives. I was having a hard time breathing. They gave me epinephrine and Benadryl. They gave me Benadryl first. Didn't work. They gave me epinephrine, and then I was in that weird mode of like, I'm really sleepy, but my heart is going. It's like when you drink coffee, it's like anxious but faster. So yeah, that was me in the moment. But I've dealt with allergies. This was different. Like, my gluten allergy was very different because when I eat fruits that I know I'm not supposed to eat, if I eat them raw, especially, like, I can eat like apple pie and like peach cobbler, things like that, because they're baked, and apparently when you bake them and cook them, it breaks down the protein that I'm allergic to, so I can do that. But if I eat them raw, it makes my mouth itch. And when I ate cherries especially, it made my throat feel weird. Like, I felt like I had this weird lump like at the base of my throat, and I couldn't swallow right, and it felt weird. Didn't like it. So that's what I knew to be my allergies. And then in the midst of all of the stress that was going on, somehow I developed a gluten allergy. I don't know why. I don't know why my body decided that it was just going to suddenly start. Because I would eat things like bread and pasta, and I just felt bad. Like, I didn't necessarily feel sick. Like, I didn't necessarily feel nauseous, but it just felt like a drain. Like, it felt like my head would hurt, and like my stomach would just feel not right, and I just felt like wiped out. I felt like I had to go lay down and take a nap. And so I kind of, you know, started picking out what I was eating and pinpointing my diet, and I realized that it was a gluten-based allergy. So I started going gluten-free. I started eating a bunch of gluten-free stuff, and that helped. It did really well. And I really, in that point in time, also I realized that I was also really allergic to tomatoes. And tomatoes, again, are a really odd allergy because because tomatoes are the only thing that I've eaten that has made me physically sick. Like, it's given me like diarrhea, and I've like vomited, like all the fun stuff. Like, that's the only thing that I've ever eaten, like, specifically, that has done that to me, where it's not a bad food, it's not, you know, spoiled or whatever, it's just the food itself. So that was fun. I still have that problem, but, you know, whatever. But the gluten allergy was weird. So I had that. I don't know if it was, you know, regarding stress or whatever, but I had that going for me. Now I eat bread just fine. I don't know. It's just something that apparently happens, which I felt like I was crazy, because I felt like, you know, I knew that, you know, it's possible, you know, that your body develops allergies as you get older and whatever, that's fine. And then I watched a Dr. Mike video, and he talked about how he had a really bad gluten allergy for like a year, and then it went away. And I had mine for like maybe a couple months or so, and then it's gone. I don't know why. The body's a weird thing. So I was dealing with that. I was going through all this stress that was happening. And post, you know, my doctor's appointments and things like that, talking about my heart and whatever was happening while I was trying to sleep. It was weird because it was only happening while I was trying to go to sleep. I was talking to my therapist through it. I still don't know why. I have ideas of why nighttime is a very specific like trigger for that type of anxiety. So when I talked to my therapist, we came to the conclusion that this was indeed not obviously a health condition, because I, you know, had tests done and obviously nothing was wrong with me. So we did conclude that it was an anxiety thing. It just decided to manifest itself differently. And And then, you know, I start thinking like, well, why is it happening at night? Why is this something that I'm dealing with, you know? Because I deal with anxiety generally throughout the day, just at various points in time. I'll just, you know, feel that anxiousness of like, yeah, it's hard to breathe, but it's not super uncomfortable. It's just, you know, it's not pleasant, but it's not like, you know, it's not like I can't do things while I'm experiencing, you know, my anxiety. But this was something that was like very specifically happening at night, a very different set of symptoms than what I'm used to having with my anxiety. So it was like, why? Why am I having these problems now? What's happening? So I was working with my therapist and we were figuring out, you know, why is this geared towards nighttime? What is it about going to bed that makes these things, these feelings come up? And we, you know, pinpointed a reason, which again, I'm not going to share because it involves other people, but we pinpointed reasons. And, you know, we talked about, you know, how I can manage those feelings when they're happening, because to me it's weird because that type of anxiety doesn't usually bother me. Like having the chest tightness, again, it's uncomfortable. Having the arm numbness, again, is uncomfortable, but it's not a panic. You know, I'm not freaking out over it. I'm just like, this is annoying and I don't like it. It's just like, cool, why? Why body? The only thing that really bothered me was the whole like when I'm trying to sleep thing, and then all of a sudden I feel like I'm not breathing and my body just like jerks awake and is like, we need to breathe now. And that's the only like panic moment that I feel, is like when my body first wakes up after that. But other than that, you know, it's whatever. It's not comfortable, it's not great, but I can generally manage it. And then other things happened more recently, and it has kind of increased my nighttime anxiety, because a situation happened. I was woken up in the middle of the night and was thrown into a situation that made me very uncomfortable, and it scared me a lot. And now, and for the night after it happened, I slept in this room because it was just something about being in that room and being in that environment. I was like, I just need to change in pace and I just need to be somewhere else. And so I slept in here and it kind of helped. I still had, you know, symptoms, but I was feeling better about being here. And then the second night after, I still had those feelings, but I forced myself to stay in the bed to try to, you know, get over it. And then last night, I think was the third night, and I still had those feelings, but it wasn't quite as severe. I didn't have the waking up that was happening. I was just having the chest tightness and the arm numbing, which was still uncomfortable, but I was able to go to sleep and it was fine. So we'll see how tonight goes. But that's pretty much what I've been dealing with. It's been really great. But all this to be said that, you know, this is one why I haven't been posting so much. It's just I've been going through it. So I'm sorry, and I'm very thankful that those of you who are still here have been really patient with me. And again, I'm sorry that I haven't been able to, you know, be as active as I would like to be here. And also to say that I think therapy is really important and it's done really great for me. And I've been really pleased with my therapist. I've been really pleased with, you know, being able to have someone from a third-party perspective that I can talk to, who I know isn't going to judge me, who I know isn't going to treat me differently because that's their job. And I know that all therapists aren't the same, and there are some therapists that, you know, are a bad batch, but I have been lucky in most of my cases. I say like 3 out of the 5 therapists I think that I've had, the 3 out of the 5 have been really great. So that's still a pretty good number, for me at least. So I've been really thankful for that. But my back is hurting because I don't have any support on this bed. So I'm going to end this video here. But again, I'm really thankful for any of you who have stuck along and who've been really patient with me and my lackluster posting. And I'll do my best to get back to it. I do want to film a video today if my boyfriend is up to it. We bought the Adventure Challenge book. I've been getting a lot of ads for it. It's not a sponsored video, clearly, because it's just not. But I've been getting a lot of ads on the Adventure Challenge. They have a couples edition that I just thought looked really cute. And it was such a girl moment of me because I was like, babe, let's do this. And he's just like, okay. But I'm really excited. So we're going to bake a pie blindfolded. At least he is. So because it's a couples thing. I don't know, it's cute. Anyway, well, I'll explain it in that video, but hopefully he'll want to film that with me today. So hopefully I'll get some more content out for you guys. And again, I'm really thankful for those of you who have stuck around, and I appreciate your support and all that fun stuff. And if you follow me on Twitch, I'm really sorry that I haven't been on there either. I can only play Animal Crossing for so long, and I've gotten to that point where I don't check in every day. So it's, you know, kind of died down in its excitement, so I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do yet. Maybe I'll download the new Sims pack that either just came out or is coming out soon, the Eco pack, and maybe give that a shot. But if you do follow me on Twitch, I'm sorry I haven't been active there either. But again, I appreciate your support and all of that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!